This is Life's a Pitch TV. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, all about hearing. GDS Builders, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Sound 4 Pro Audio, Come Hither Design, and Suffolk Sound. Charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk, Forget Me Not Golf, and Combat to Coffee. Terry Butcher will be doing that all night. Welcome to this week's edition of Life's Pitch TV. This is the DPS Tech Arena. I'm your host, Mark Murphy. And let me introduce to the team. It is Terry Butcher. Hey! Russell Osman. Hey! Also in the Sound 4 Pro Audio production suite, we've got Richard Garrett. Hey! Floor managers Leslie and Sarah Jane. Hey! And our capacity crowd, we have the Churchman stand sponsored by John Keeble Cars. Hey! And the North stand sponsored by Ashford Wright. Hey! And we need a special guest this week. It's Wayne Brown making his debut. Hey! Wayne Brown is one of our own. Brilliant. Welcome to the show. Making your Life's a Pitch TV debuts. Good to see you.
Thank you. Very nice welcome. Thank you very much for that.
No, it's good. That's good. They were very well behaved. If you feed them sausage rolls and Rocky Road and a can of beer, you're pretty cheap, aren't you, really? Yeah, as a crowd.
Dream, yeah.
Sorry, inexpensive, not cheap. Inexpensive. But good to have you with us on the show. Lots to talk about today. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, to hit like and subscribe. We've got over 5,000 subscribers. We'd like to get over 6,000. That would be very nice. If you're listening on podcast, welcome, and on Suffolk Sound, the award-winning Suffolk Sound, picking up an award this week. It's good to have you along today. Lots to talk about, and Wayne will talk about your time at Town and Colchester and what you're up to now a little bit later on in the programme. But my goodness me, that game against Blackburn Rovers, Terry Butcher, was a little wet, wasn't it?
It was very wet.
Yes.
Thankfully, it was very wet at the end. So, yeah, it's they didn't play particularly well. Ipswich, I thought Blackburn just sort of fancied. They got stuck in a bit more, like all teams do, sort of at home. But, you know, in the end of the day, I think we got away with murder there, to be honest. So, yeah, but now we've got when the ruling comes out, I'm not too sure when that's going to be. But, you know, there's a debate that I don't think there's a rule, say after so many minutes, then you have to take the result if it's cancelled. I don't think that rule exists.
No, they're having a debate about it, aren't they? Which, I mean, for heaven's sake, I mean, we're recording this on Wednesday night. It happened on Saturday. How long does it take?
Well, it took a long
Ridiculous.
Time for other things. Leyton Orient versus Lincoln last year was abandoned after 82 minutes. A fan fell ill when the game was replayed in full. Then in Luton versus Bournemouth in 22-23, the game was replayed in full. But the Fulham versus Derby game, 82-83, was not completed. Well, they didn't complete 90 minutes. They came very close to it. But the game was not replayed as the crowd came onto the pitch. So I think with the last two, or the first two that I said here, Leyton Orient and Luton, I think that the game possibly should be replayed in full just to keep that continuity. If they don't play it in full and say, well, we allow the 1-0 result, it stands, I think that's sort of grossly unfair because, you know, there was at least 10 minutes left in the game. So you'd like to think that we have a habit of scoring late goals. You'd like to think that we could possibly do that, even with 10 men. So
10 minutes plus 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Extra time.
Yeah, that's right. So it could be a lot. So, at the end of the day, I think it's a freak thing. I mean, a lot of... Who went up there? Who got soaked? You all get soaked, yeah. Yeah, it's not very nice. But, you know, the fans, I think we deserve possibly another crack at it, although our performance probably wouldn't warrant that. But I think you've got to be fair.
So out of the two sets of fans, we were the most relieved then, I think, when the game was finally abandoned.
Yeah, but when they went off, took the players off and the rain was coming down, I thought it came down harder. I thought there was no chance of that happening. Absolutely no chance.
Well, I think the man who was keen to get off the most was Alex Palmer, the keeper. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of him. It was on social media. From his goal mouth straight through to the tunnel to get off as quick as he could. I've had enough of this. Get me out of here.
He didn't have a lot to do in the game as well. He must have been absolutely freezing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Russell, did you ever play in those kind of conditions?
All the time as a kid.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Good sliding tackles in your day?
Good sliders, yeah.
Yeah.
Played rugby in those sort of conditions. I think the problem was that, the pitch is still quite firm and the water was just lying on the top of it. And there was one tackle just before the end where Kipri tried to step in front and he just, slid and kept sliding for about, 10 yards. And it was just making a mockery of it all, and the referee just rolling the ball in the puddle. I mean, you had to laugh at that, didn't you? It's not going to bounce. We all know that. We all know what the state of the pitch is, and you don't have to prove it.
He's got to make a show of it, hasn't he? So, often the referees are all about them
enough. He had
these
to do
days.
his job, It's just disappointing that the Football League have taken so long to make the mind of what they're going to do with it. I think there's a Football League regulation, there's an FA regulation and stuff like that, and surely they could have done it by now.
Mm.
It was wet, very wet, and it's just, if the ball's not going to roll anywhere, I say they'll call it off.
I
But
think-
you
I
watch
think-
games in Brazil or down in Argentina, and they'll just play all the way through that.
Yeah.
The
I,
best team
I
wins.
think the decision has gone to VAR, to be honest. So that's why it's taken so long.
What did you make of those conditions, Wayne?
Yeah, extremely wet. I've played in a few sort of fixtures where it has come down and it has become dangerous. But I'm a little bit old school in the fact that as a defender, you've got a little bit of an excuse there to tackle and leave a bit on someone. So
Is that a technical term?
yeah, you can call it what you will, but those days are obviously gone now, and safety is paramount, obviously.
I played at for Leicester City one day at Newcastle, and it was raining, snowing, sleet, the whole shebang, freezing cold, full house. And there's snow on the pitch, and the ball was gathering snow as you're trying to pass it to people. And there was one instance, and I'd made a pact to myself. Our goalkeeper, Ian Andrews, had been having a bit of a bad time. And I said, whatever happens today, if he makes a mistake, don't say a word to him. Just try and encourage him. And I knocked a back pass to him to the side of the goal. And as the ball was getting closer to him, it was getting bigger and bigger with all the snow on it. He came out to clear it, but slipped on the way. And Peter Beardsley nipped in, knocked the ball past him, all the snow came off it, and he stuck it into the net. So I'm walking out of the 18-yard box. The Newcastle fans are going mad, 1-0 up. And I thought, I've got to have a word with the keeper. So I was going to turn around, and I turned around to open my mouth and give him a right bollocking. And he's half volleyed the ball back up to the halfway line, but it's hit me full in the face. And it lifted me off my feet and sat me on my backside in the D on the edge of the 18-yard box.
Wow.
I gave him a volley then. So I sat there, snow, freezing. Oh, and those balls were a bit heavier in those days. God, nearly knocked my head off.
Yeah. Not a nice experience. No. Did you have any games abandoned, Wayne, as a manager or player?
Trying to think, really. My memory's not that great. I must have had. We did have one, I think it was in Plymouth. Again, it fell down. I think I was at Colchester at the time, and that had to be replayed. We didn't get through much of the game, though, so that was just but we had to travel down there on a midweek, which was no fun. But yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You can't control the weather, as they say.
But it's going to be a long old trip again for you lot, isn't it? Hey, back up to Blackburn. But we'll be firing on all cylinders then, won't we? Yes, Mark.
Yes, Mark, yes.
Yeah. We had a cup game called off, Mark, when I was caretaker manager at Plymouth, and we were playing Grimsby on a Tuesday night, and the weather was horrendous there, and we had to keep making an attempt to get there on time for the kick-off, and the weather was really bad, and we spoke to the referee on the way. He said, listen, you've got to keep making the attempt to get there just in case it does get called off. There's a pitch inspection an hour before the game. So we get there, we're about an hour and a half away from Grimsby, and they call the game off. fish and chips and drove all the way back home. And that was it.
It's a long way to go for fish and chips, isn't it?
It was. Yeah. We had a beer as well. On the way
You
home.
wouldn't want them to deliver because that would probably that would be a stone cold. When I was a manager at Motherwell, it was not so much with the rain. The pitch was sort of semi-frozen, and you know, we had overnight. It was the covers were on and all that sort of thing. But it might come. You know, you sort of think, well, there's going to be a bit of a thaw the next day. So, and it was freezing temperatures at night. But we didn't really want the game on because we had a lot of injuries and things like this. So we got the fire brigade to come in and hose the pitch. And the game was called off because of a frozen pitch. But don't tell the authorities that. No, don't do that.
What about the European game that we played in
Lodz?
In Lodz, yeah. You know, and the pitch was covered in snow. And we didn't have the option of rearranging it because the fixture schedule was horrendous there. We were, what, 3-0 up from the first leg?
Was this Poland?
5-0.
Poland, wasn't it?
Five,
Was it in Poland?
Poland, yeah.
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 So the pitch was covered in snow. So they said, what we'll do, we'll scrape round the lines and everything and paint the lines in red. Just move a little bit of snow to the side. So there's a wall of snow all the way around the outside of the pitch. And we just went ahead and played on it. And it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious, wasn't
Like
it?
football on ice, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, it was crazy. You couldn't stand up on it at all. It was just ridiculous. But we just got the fixture out the way and moved on.
What was the score that night?
We lost 1-0.
Right.
But that was the game with Beat. We all had like leggings and long sleeve shirts and all this sort of thing. And Beat came out with the socks, shorts, and the short sleeve shirt, and that was it. Tattoos, you can see his tattoos and everything like that. Yeah, he didn't mind. He didn't care.
Bottle of scotch on the table before we went out, wasn't there? You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Bob Robson insisted that everybody had a tot of that on the way out.
What, before going out to play?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Because it was that cold as well. He said, once you get out there, it'll be a bit of a... So I have a little tot. A little tot for most of us was about that much in a glass. The Beat.
Was it 2 fingers? You know, was around that? Yeah, 2 fingers. Those 2 fingers was like that.
Good days.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Anything like that, Wayne, when you were playing? You didn't have a tot of something before going out?
We did. Nigel Pearson at Leicester, he used to make all the staff do one before every game and at half time.
I like that, my manager. I like him.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it so much that I brought it in when I was at Colchester.
Right.
So just as a manager, my coaching staff, there's only 3 of us. Just had a little top before the game and cheers boys, all the best, and that was it. So
Nice
yeah,
touch.
nice touch.
If you want to give your staff a top before you go out now in modern football, you need a case of beer or lager. You need a case of lager because you got so much staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Should we have a little top before we go on air every week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I'll drink
Well,
to
I
that.
think, yeah, most of them do, yes. Yeah, cheers, Russ.
Back
He's
on.
bigging up our sponsors, Lakens, you know, so it's all good. Yeah. But obviously the game called off. Would you have wanted it called off in the situation we were in, down to 10 men, 10, 15 minutes to go, horrible conditions, 1-0 down? I guess our staff manager, see Mr. Ashton was down in the tunnel as well, probably asking for it to be called off.
I think it's one of them where I'm sure if the roles were reversed and we were ahead in the game, then it would have been a totally different story. From their point of view, down to 10 men, 1-0 up, you obviously want the game to keep going. So I can see it from both sides, but at least now, you know, we've got an opportunity, hopefully, if the powers that be come to the right decision, and hopefully we get a replay and we get another opportunity to get the 3 points, which could be the difference come the end of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be close, I think, this season. Would you have been lobbying Butch to call it off if you were in Kieran's situation?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'll be right in the referee's room, that's for sure. Yeah. But the thing is, you know what's going to happen. So there's the opposite ends of what they want, Blackburn and Ipswich. But then it's down to that committee. So I can't, like Russell, you just can't understand why they haven't made a decision straight away. It just shows that there must be a split in the, was it 10 men or something that have to make a decision on the committee or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah,
Bring back the Pools panel.
Yeah, bring that. But I just can't understand why they haven't done that. But it's for me, it's just straightforward. It's happened before, recently, last 2 years or 3 years, So yeah,
Would you have been in their ear, Russ, as a manager?
If I was losing, quite right, I said, we definitely got to have a replay. Simple as that. But if you were winning, you'd say, well, we've sorted the game out, you're down to 10 men, game's over. You've not had a shot at goal or anything like that, so let the result stand. That there is an argument for going back and playing the 10 minutes and the 10 minutes.
well, there's that alternative as well.
Yeah.
Result stands, or you go and play the last 10 minutes, which is rubbish, really, because the crowd are not going to go up for 10 minutes.
Oh, I don't know. Some of them will.
Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
Well,
But you see, the lad that scored the penalty, that gets chalked off. Greaves' sending off still stands, even though it's only a one-match ban, isn't it?
yeah, it can't be, can
So
it?
it's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? It's either all washed off and we all start again, or you can't have something carry on and something not carry on. And
I went on Soccer Base. You do your research. I mean, I do research actually, not a lot, but I do research. And you go on there, and it's not even on there. So it's played. The last game we played was against Sheffield United, according to Soccer Base. So they've not registered it. So why should you register, the sending off? Why should that stand? But the goal is chalked off, as Russell says. Exactly. It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
We've got a bizarre EFL.
a bit weird.
We should have you two as part of the 10 men or 10
We should.
women or 10 people,
Yeah.
whatever it is
Yeah,
these
yeah,
days.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd have made a decision before now, wouldn't you?
I'd have sent off 5 Blackburn players. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, that's where it might have a difference of opinion, isn't it?
What would you send off 4? Or not
Yeah.
5? Yeah.
Okay, right, it's time for this week's Player of the Week, sponsored by GBS Builders. Terry, do you want to go first?
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, the only one that I could think of was Caused, because I think he had a shot, and that was
Okay.
it. But I mean, I know Hurst had a shot, but I mean, everybody else I thought was pretty poor. And the penalty we gave away and the sending off, which is criminal, really, to be honest. So, yeah, or Palmer, because Palmer made a good save and really didn't do a lot wrong. Although he went the right way for the penalty, but it was well struck. And it's horrible to see a former Norwich player put one in the back of our net. I was going to swear then, but I better not.
No, I was going to leave the gap just in case you wanted to, so we could edit it out
Okay,
quite
fine.
easily. But, Russ?
Well, I just thought about to see where he dealt with the high tide very well, and just coasted in on a wave or two. No, it was difficult for everybody, but I thought he just stuck at his job quite well. I was a little bit surprised at the penalty being given away. We still made 1 or 2 mistakes at the back, but I think he's getting better and better every game.
I was going to say Kipre, because of the tackle that he made. It was brilliant. Just wiped the player out. It was fantastic. I like that a lot. I'd have given him a new contract.
Well, you can have more than one if you want. Wayne, did you watch the game or not? Did you?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
No, okay.
You were lucky then, was you?
Yeah.
Lucky escape.
Smart move. Smart move. So what about the crowd? Who should it be, do we think? The crowd?
Yeah.
This week's Players of the Week are the crowd.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Yeah, go for that. Go
Well
for that.
Crowd.
Crowd.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long did it take on the coach?
We left at 6:30.
Yeah.
We got there at 12:30.
Okay, so what's that, about 6 hours?
Yeah, with a 45 minute. And then on the way
Yeah, pit
back,
stop.
I was the first coach back.
Yeah.
And we were back at 11 o'clock. No,
So a long day,
11
basically.
o'clock.
Yeah, long day. Well done, everybody. Well done, those who went. Well done.
Oh, well done.
Well done.
On that rocky road again.
Yeah.
What's that about Rocky Road?
Yes, all right. We've got... we must just say well done to Ipswich Town's women getting their first point in a 0-0 against Charlton. First point and a clean sheet, which will give them the world of confidence. So good luck to them going forward. The interesting news coming out of Q8 this week, sound like CNN, don't I? Sam Morsey parting company with Q8, Russ.
Very surprised. I know he got sent off in his last game, did he? Or one of the 3 games
Yep.
he's played. Not heard anything about reasons why or whatever. So, no idea.
Very strange.
Very strange. Yeah. Be interesting to see what happens next.
Where he ends up.
Mm.
What do you think of that, Terry? It's quite odd, isn't it?
Well, I think he'd be in demand because he's still got a lot to offer football and he's still got a lot of experience. But I mean, it's something must have happened behind the scenes and all that sort of thing. So it's a big shock because he's a player that's wholehearted, gets stuck in, leads by example. He's a player that you want in your team.
But can he move straight into another club now?
I don't know.
Or
I think it's
transfer
January.
window's
He's got to wait till
closed, so
January.
He's got to wait till January.
So
Yeah.
I mean, there was a well-trodden path, wasn't there, from Portman Road down to Colchester for a lot of ex-town players. I'm not sure whether he'd trek down to Colchester or not, but that was a well-worn path for lots of players. Would we want him back, though, Butch?
Yeah, possibly. But I mean, that midfield position, there's quite a few players there that are just trying to make a name for themselves and trying to integrate themselves very well. But no, I wouldn't mind it if he was a free transfer then coming back. Yeah, I mean, his experience would be great for that midfield section.
Wayne, should we get him back?
Agreeing with Terry there, he's got so much to give a team at a really good level, whether it be the Championship. I can't see him going to somewhere like Colchester because, as I said, I think he's got a value to a team at a higher level than that. Look at the job that he did for Ipswich when he was here. Would you bring him back? Well, yeah, you will, because you can rely on him. He's steady Eddie. You know what you're going to get from him week in and week out. And as a manager, that's what you want. You want to hang your hat on somebody. And I think he'll be a great addition back in the team or in the squad come January.
Russ, would you have him back?
Personally, no. No, I think we've got good competition in the midfield area now. I still felt that he slowed the play down a little bit too much for Ipswich, and I think we've gone a little bit quicker now. I still think we've got a lot of room to improve in that area on the pitch. But I do feel that we've got some talent in there that just needs bedding in, and they will produce. They will create goals, and I think they'll score goals from midfield.
I mean, it's likely to, I don't know really, who knows, but he may come back and train with us to keep fit, perhaps. They might have a look at him. Who knows? Don't know, but it's a very odd scenario.
Yeah, it is odd, but we're not at full speed yet. We're probably still in between first and second gear. We're not going yet. And someone like him coming in and maybe being behind the scenes rather than actually being in the picture because of technical reasons. So you'd like to think, well, he has had experience. I think he was very good in the Championship. Getting to the Premier League is a different issue. He probably not quite that standard, but he got us out of League One. He helped to get us out, and obviously Championship straight away. So yeah, I think it's always nice, and I think Kieran likes to have experienced people around him as well, and players and coaches, and he likes them for their input, and he's got tremendous input. So yeah, as an asset off the pitch, yeah, he could be a big help to us.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll talk about Portsmouth a little. Well, let's talk about Portsmouth now, shall we? Should we talk about Portsmouth now? Yeah, let's talk about Portsmouth now. Next home game, Wayne, what do you reckon?
I think it's one of those. At the moment, you're just looking for a result at home, and getting the crowd back behind you and positive thoughts again, because the Championship's extremely hard. It's probably one of the toughest leagues in the world. I would go as far as saying, because of the budgets, because of the teams, because of the players that it attracts, both home and abroad. It's a real tough league to get out of, and you need points on the board early. Otherwise, it becomes a real struggle to then make that gap up. So we need some points on the board quick. And as I say, a result at home will go a long way on and off the pitch to get that morale back.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Portsmouth, but they're the sort of side that we should be taking 3 points off at home every day of the week, really. It should be a Stonewall 3-pointer for us, no argument about it whatsoever.
Will it be, though?
If they play like they did against Sheffield United, and Sheffield United weren't the best side in the world, and I think Portsmouth will play better than Sheffield United did. I think it'll be a bit harder. I don't think we'll get five goals against them, but it's just one of those that I would think something like a clean sheet would be nice, and just 2 or 3 goals, be comfortable. But it should be a bog standard home win for us.
Butch?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be smarting because of that defeat by, was it Sheffield Wednesday last week? They never expected to lose to Sheffield Wednesday, and I think nobody else did because of the conditions Sheffield Wednesday are in. So they lost the game 2-0. So you'd like to think that John Massinho, the manager, who he was with me at Brentford, I was a manager, and he was my midfield player, and he was very good, and he's calm assured as a midfield player, and you always sort of thought he had the potential to go and become a coach or a manager, because he was, he treated the game very respectfully, but he had a deep insight into the game. But, you like to think, because there'd be no chappers, will there? Chappers won't play in that, won't be allowed to play in that. So, thankfully, but they've still got quality, but hence the way they came up and all that. But they're still a team that, given it's a good time to play them, I think, and it's a good game to play because we can get some continuity, we can get some momentum now, and at home, and there's going to be a good crowd, there's going to be a good atmosphere again. So that might be too much for Portsmouth, I think. So I was 3 points. I don't think there's any problem about it, but we can, unless we make our own problems, unless we give stupid goals away again, which is a habit we have to get rid of.
You're both nodding away there as defenders, Wayne. Too many loose goals given away at the back?
Yeah, I think so. I think it may be a little bit of a hangover from last year, possibly as well. Conceding goals of a nature where they're preventable, and against better opposition. Obviously, the higher up you go, the less mistakes you can afford to make because they're in the back of your net. And the Championship's no different, as I've already alluded to. There's a lot of good players in the Championship, especially in that top third of the pitch. And if you do switch off, or you do tend to make mistake after mistake, you're not going to win many games.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for Saturday. Fingers crossed everything goes well, because we do need to get some points on the board. Let's talk about you making your Life's Pitch debut, so welcome. Take us back. How did you end up at Town? You were in the academy, weren't you?
I was. I'd done my YTS, it was called back then, at Ipswich. It was a strange one because in my schoolboy days, I didn't really sign for any club, as when now they tie you down at an early age. You're not allowed to play for your school, your district, your county, anybody, or apart from that club, as where back then you could play for who you wanted. So I didn't sign any papers for any club. So one week I'd play for Watford against Wickham, the next week I'll be playing for Wickham against somebody else. And I was spotted by a fella called George Millard, his name was, and I was playing for Gillingham against Maidstone at Maidstone's old ground, and it was a big old-fashioned ground. It was massive, and he approached myself and my old man after the game, and that was it really. I came down to Ipswich, loved it, and it was out of Ipswich, Watford and Gillingham who I signed my YTS with. I think Watford offered me a 3-year YTS because I was that funny age group, sort of August birthday. Gillingham offered me a 2-year pro, a 2-year YTS, and Ipswich offered me a 2-year YTS. But I thought John Lyle was a manager, big West Ham fan as a kid. Obviously seeing the progression and the kids that it brought through, the club had brought through, there was only really one option that I wanted to take up. And again, looking back, you look at my old man, taking me training Tuesday, Thursday after doing a shift in the city. It goes a long way, and obviously forever grateful for him for doing that. So that's how I've ended up at Ipswich.
What was it like that moment when the scout came up to you and your dad? What was it like at that moment when you think, hello, what's this then?
I think at that age, what was I? Just turned 15. I'd had a few experiences of that. I'd already been at Millwall, I'd been at Arsenal, I'd been at Watford, I'd been at Gillingham. So there's been a number of clubs that I'd already experienced that with. And then obviously when George come up to me after the game, it was like, well, this is great. It's another opportunity to go and impress, and try and meet new people and try and make an impression. And that's all you can ask.
Can you two remember when you were scouted and had that tap on the shoulder?
In a way, yeah. Again, my father was an ex-professional player himself, and I think I got invited to play for the village senior side in the Derby District Cup final, and there was somebody that knew Bobby Robson's brother and mentioned it to them that I was playing in the senior side. I was only like 14 at the time, 14 or 15. We won the final that night, and all of a sudden you get a letter inviting you down for trial. Imagine sending something as important as that by post these days. You wouldn't get it, would you? And that was it. It invited you down for a trial at Ipswich Town Football Club, and you thought, crikey, that's a little bit bolt out of the blue, and that was the start of it all, really.
Butch, what about you? Who tapped you on the shoulder?
It was normally a policeman. You shouldn't be in this pub because you're too young. That was it normally, yeah. No, I never got tapped on the shoulder.
Did you not?
No, I got the Norwich scout got me in to have a trial at Norwich, but I felt physically sick and absolutely had a nightmare, which I'm very pleased about. And and a supporter contacted Charlie Woods, and I was invited for a 4-week trial pre-season with Ipswich 76. So I never scouted sort of thing. It was a supporter that contacted the club. So I was very lucky that he made the call. So apart from that, no. But that was 17. That wasn't 15 or anything else like that. It was 17.
So what was it like coming down then at that point? Who was in the squad that you were looking up to at that point?
Well,
obviously you mentioned John Loyal as manager, but
I remember coming down on trial. It was half term, so school off for a week. Get yourself down in digs. And the first session that we had, it was in the afternoon. So I trained with the lads my age in the morning, and then in the afternoon I trained with the first team at 15, and we trained in the inside Astro up the top. And all they did is they just ping balls from one side of the gym to the other, and I was marking walkie, and they put Dave Linnigan up against me. So all they wanted me to do was go and attack the ball, just go and head the ball. And I loved it. Brilliant, because that was what I loved doing. I loved going to head the ball and attacking the ball. And after the training session, Mr. Lowell came up to me and said, "Did you enjoy that, son?" I said, I loved it, boss. It was great. He said, "You're brilliant." And that was it. And that meant everything, you know what I mean, as a 15-year-old. So, yeah, really enjoyed that. And
he was a great man manager, wasn't he?
He was, and, you know, that sort of goes unnoticed, if you like, if you're not in the environment. So, you know, a real top fella. You know, very thankful for him for the opportunity to come in and do that.
And I think he's one manager that gets overlooked a little bit when we look back at the Ipswich Town history. You know, he had his moment here, and he's a good guy.
Yeah, he had a great career as a manager, didn't he? He was the West Ham Academy, the West Ham system of bringing through young players and giving them the chance in the first team. You know, Alan Devonshire, Alvin Martin, to name just a couple. They had loads, a little bit like Ipswich. So very successful when he came to Ipswich as well. But pure football.
Mm.
That was it. No airs, no graces, no nothing. Just go out there and play.
Yeah, he was a manager that players wanted to play for. And if you've got that, then there must be a good relationship. You must have good man management. And he did. Very similar to Bobby. So, you know, these managers, they're so different now. Most of them are foreign anyway. So, but, you know, you wonder if they have that same approach with man management when it comes to it. And when someone says what John said to you, Bobby used to say to me, Butcher, because he didn't know my first name. He normally called me effing Butcher. He says, "You never let me down. When I put you in the first team, you never let me down." So when someone says that, wow, you go through a brick wall, would you not? Yeah.
So you're a young lad. The players around you at the time, who did you look up to? Who did you think, actually, I want to follow in your footsteps? And when did you first start going to Brannigan's?
Oh, God. Well, I'll get the first question out of the way first.
Don't worry about us over here.
I think it's one of those, when you're put into an environment, you can only look up to the people that are playing in your position, and you need to learn off them every day, not just training, but go and watch the games, watch their positional play, watch how they attack the ball, watch how they communicate. So you're always trying to pick bits out of people's game that you feel that you can add to your game and take it forwards. So obviously at the time, as I said, Jink was still playing. You had who else did you have? You had like people like Dave William, Eddie Yalds, at that sort of time. Dave Linigan, as I've already mentioned. And again, it was a different style of football back then, as we can all relate to probably in this room, where you had to head it and you had to kick it. That was your job at the back. No one wanted you to play football. Your job was to keep the ball out the net, and that's something that I thrived on doing. I love doing it, a typical old-fashioned centre half. And if I'm totally honest, if I was in this era now coming through, I probably wouldn't have made it, because technically I wasn't great. But I did love putting my body on the line, heading the ball, and trying to improve my game day in, day out. And not just then, it was, Tony Mowbray, who I ended up playing with, but he had a lot of time in the reserves. So when he first come to the club, I think he was in the reserves for a good 6 months. So I learnt so much off Mogga in that period against some good players. The reserve sort of league back then, you were playing against some top players like Ian Wright, Nicholas Anelka, and people like that. And that was a great learning curve for me as a youngster, not just playing with Mogga, but playing against some top pros. And I think that helped me in my progression in getting into the first team.
I think if I'd have watched Alan Hunter and Kevin Beattie really intensely, I'd have become a chain smoker. But you're right what you say. You see them and the habits that they have and all that. And to play alongside them, we played practice matches and things like this alongside the Beat and alongside Alan. And you learn so much. They can impart so much knowledge. You learn more from them than you would probably the coaches.
Yeah.
Because it's actual match play and it's actual, this is where I want to be. So yeah, fair play to you. And I think that's the right set of instructions for you to become a good player.
And especially in central defence, to have someone really experienced like Mogga next to you when you're up and coming. I was going to say, how important is that to have someone of that stature next to you?
Well, one of Mogga's massive pluses was his communication.
Did you understand him? Was he all right? Yeah.
He was, yeah. He was also a gentleman off the pitch. You'd go around fees for meals, and he'd take you out for meals. But on the pitch, he sort of played your game for you, because he told you where to be and when to be there, which was amazing, whilst doing his own job. But he was doing that. Obviously, the older you get, the more I became like that. It helps you and your position, because you get people in the right positions, they're doing your job for you. You ain't got to do anything.
Yeah.
You ain't got to run. You got to do less running. You ain't got to go tight, because you're getting people to go tight with them. So for me, I learned so much off him and took that on my journey and brought that into my game, which was a massive help for me.
The communication is massively important, especially the position we played, because you've got players trying to run in behind you, players dropping short, players coming in from wide positions. And unless your teammates are talking to you, you're forever like looking over your shoulder, wondering where everybody's going. But if your communication's good, all you're doing is watching the ball and just playing your game. I used to go and attack goal kicks and stuff like that, and as I'm looking at the ball, ready to head it, Terry's telling me where I should be heading it to. Not the fact that I just got to win it. Yeah.
Did I do that? I can't remember doing that.
Well, it must have been beat then, one of you.
I just said head the effing thing. That's what I
Yeah,
was
but
doing.
you're going to head it, but it'd say, head it to Millsy, knowing that Millsy's free left back. You probably think you should have known that anyway, but it was always somebody there reinforcing your decision. And the communication is so important, and it makes the game so much easier.
Your big season was the promotion season, wasn't it, up to the Premier League? I think 30 games in all competitions that season.
Yeah, again, very, very fortunate to be involved in the team at that period. Obviously, achieving promotion in that season was very, very special. We just missed out on a number of seasons before that in the playoffs, where you sort of have a little bit of a bit part, but not much of a part. But that season, as you say, 30 appearances. Again, very, very lucky to experience that and get a promotion.
And playing in both legs against Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
a strange one, really, because I was on the bench for the first game. And Mogga got poked in the eye and he couldn't see out of his eye. So after about 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, he had to come off. So I was always left of a three. Mogga was always in the middle, and it was probably Johnny Mack on the right. So the gaffer says, right, get yourself on. You're going to go in the middle of Vino and John. So I was like, yeah, no problem. Went on there with 2-0 down, and loved it. The Reebok's a great arena to play in. It was obviously a full house, great atmosphere. 2-0 down at the time, and obviously we're up against it. But there was a belief in the squad that it was always going to get a result, no matter who was against. And I can just picture it now. Marcus Stewart's goals, unbelievable strikes, and the composure he showed. I think it might have been for the second one where he's gone around the keeper. Looks like he's going to just slide it in with his right foot, but then cuts it back onto his left. I think the defender and the goalkeeper have gone for a pie and chips. They've ended up in the back of the net, and he just slots it home, cool as you like. And what a top player he was.
Second leg at Portman Road. Take us through that.
So
Many fans say, irrespective of what you guys did and whatever era, actually that second leg against Bolton Wanderers was probably the best game many town fans have watched.
Well, I think as an entertainment value, that game had everything, absolutely everything. I ended up starting the game on the right-hand side. Now, I can't kick my right foot. I can stand on it and kick my left foot, but the right foot's a bit dubious. So I was a little bit like a fish out of water. And in a game like that, it was, I didn't play horrendously bad, but it just felt uncomfortable. I think Dean Oldsworth scored first, that got their sort of tails up. Big Sam was the manager, and it was just unbelievable game, sending offs, goals, and I was speaking to Ross before we came on air. You wouldn't get that now, because it was such an open game, so free flowing, blood, sweat and tears, bodies on the line, sending offs. It had absolutely everything, and to get that again, I don't think you're ever going to get that again.
It was a hell of a game to watch.
Yeah,
It really was.
I came back to watch the game because I think I was living down in Bristol by that time, or Southampton. I came back to watch that game, and to be honest, Bolton got everything they deserved that night.
Yeah.
I thought the way Sam Allardyce got his players to do some of the stuff on the pitch, I thought it is diabolical. He tried every trick in the book, and we just turned him over. He was embarrassing, to be honest. Great result.
I think it was one of those as well. That was obviously their plan, Big Sam's plan, to come down and kick us off the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think, in their opinion, that's the only way they could get a result, because we'd done exceptionally well that league campaign, and he knew he was in trouble, I think. In fact, after the game, he actually booted the hinges off the referee's door.
Oh.
Literally went through the door because he was wanted to get through him.
Do we know anybody else who's done that?
I quite like that. Oh, well done, Sam. Well done. That's the only thing he did right.
But it ended up, I think Phil Brown might have been his assistant manager, who obviously I played under later on in my career. But yeah, it was an unbelievable feeling. And yeah, we was in Brannigan's that night.
Yeah.
And we didn't hold back.
So were you also voted the most improved player in that season?
I was, yeah. I don't really know how I feel about that award, because I must have been shockingly bad at the start to then improve.
It's a funny title. It's a funny sort of award, isn't it, really? Most improved.
Yeah, I mean,
suppose.
listen, I'm forever grateful for it, of course. And it's nice getting a bit of recognition of how well you're doing. But yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, most improved.
Yeah. And the Premier League season, you didn't play much of a part, did you, that season?
Well, I came on against Tottenham first game of the season, I think for Vino maybe, with about 15, 20 minutes to go, and I pulled my hip flexor.
Yeah.
So I was out for 3 months, which killed me a little bit. I think one of the only signings they made that year was Big Herman, came in, and unbelievable character, great kid, good player. So with him and Vino in front of me, it was always going to be tough to sort of get in the team. And then obviously struggled with fitness first part of the season, ended up going on loan, I believe, to the latter part of that season to QPR, where I only played 2 games and ripped my hamstring. So it was just one of those games. One of those seasons, unfortunately. So didn't really get many Premier League appearances. The second year, I ended up going out on loan to Watford, where I spent 3 months 3 months to Wimbledon, where I was under Terry Burton, played I think 17, 18 games in that spell, and then went for 2.5 months to Watford under Luca Vialli, and in that period played just as many games for those 2 teams as I probably did for Ipswich in 6 years. So that was a little bit of a wake-up call for me, thinking I need to play. Come back at the end of that season, unfortunately we got relegated. Was in the squad against Liverpool last game of the season, and then they offered me a 3-year contract. George offered me a 3-year contract, and I was like, I'm not going to sign it until I start playing some football, because I really need to play. And not only did I play for those teams, I did reasonably well for those teams. So again, I just wanted more of that of playing. So that was the way it sort of ended up, really.
Yeah, I mean, it is important, isn't it? You want to be a footballer, you want to play football, don't you?
Well, I was 24 then.
Yeah.
23, 24. Nowadays, your career's gone. If you've not played many games at that age, there's not many people that then kick on at that age. You're in the team at 17, 18, and then you go like the Kieran Dyers and the Titus Brambles that have had unbelievable careers, which started really early, as where mine didn't really kick on until I sort of left Ipswich, if you like, and, well, not so much because I went to Watford and it didn't really work out, and then went to Colchester and then played pretty much every game. And that was probably the most enjoyable time of my career, because I was playing, was doing well, winning games, managed to win another promotion or gain another promotion. So you're always at your happiest when you are playing and when you're winning football games.
That promotion was with Hull against Bristol City. Was it 2008?
That was a latter part of the career. Yeah. So I left. I had 3.25 years at Colchester. We got promoted from League One into the Championship on definitely the lowest budget that the league had at the time.
That was a local derby, wasn't it, that season?
It was, yeah. So we got promoted into the Championship. Obviously played Ipswich a couple of times there, which was great. Coming back as a opposition player was a little bit strange, but it's great. You always want to try and do well against your old clubs. And then after 3.25 years, managed to get a move to Hull, where in our first season again got promoted to the Premier League. So again, really enjoyable times.
Brilliant. And being a manager, how did that come about? Because that's not everybody's cup of tea, is it?
No. At the latter part of my career, from Hull, went to Leicester and then went to Preston, where I ended up. That was being my last club. I sort of fell out of love with the game. Always living away, suffered with injury. And if I'm honest, at that time, looking back, I probably wasn't in a great state of mind. Always sort of injured, and it sort of does get you down. So I sort of wanted to step away from football, if I'm honest. And then a year after being out of football, got an opportunity to go into Colchester to do some coaching, and then sort of work my way through the sort of levels, working under John McGreal, which again was a great learning curve for me as a coach, learning under somebody like that. And then sort of worked my way up to manage the first team, yeah.
Nice feeling, leading a team out?
Yeah, it's great when you're winning. Yeah, it's great when you're winning, but, I was, again, speaking to the fellas beforehand, the sort of lower down the pyramid you go, the less sort of support staff that you have, and it became a real tough gig. I'd been caretaker manager a couple of times before I then got the opportunity to be a caretaker again for the third time at Colchester. Robbie's always been one of the firm believers of promoting within and giving an opportunity. So I always felt that there may be an opportunity if I did do well. Was at Malden and Tiptree, again, non-league level, bringing kids through into that environment, which was another great learning curve for me, coming out of the academy, going into that environment. And then managed to get an opportunity in the first team, took over from Aidan Mullins I think we were 2 points above the relegation line. This was in the January, and we managed to finish 15th with the squad of players that we had. Was a real good effort from the lads, to be fair. And then, unfortunately, the following season, I only got 9 league games before I got the sack, which, you know, listen, football's football. There's one thing in that's guaranteed as a manager, you're going to get the sack.
I think
Is
you
that right,
join the club, yeah.
Yeah.
Join the club.
I just wasn't anticipating it being after 9 games, if I'm honest.
I think I was sooner than that, to be honest. It didn't even last 9 games.
It's a job I wouldn't want. I really wouldn't want it. But,
No, I mean, we had a real tough start. I mean, I think we had 9 league games, and out of the 9, we played 6 that finished in the top 7 that year, 3 of which getting promoted.
But nobody's interested in that, are they, mate?
No,
You
they're
know?
not. They're not. But we did particularly well on the night against Ipswich
I remember.
in the cup. It wasn't a spectacle of good football from ourselves. We knew we had to come here and try and be hard to beat, which again I thrived on as a manager, setting up teams to being hard to break down. Thankfully, on the night for us, Ipswich made a mistake at the back. We got a goal and managed to see the game out 1-0. So that was a good feeling.
Yeah, well, you've done it. You've played at the highest level. You've managed. So Wayne Brown for now, everybody. Brilliant.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Time for it's this week's Ask the Legends. And Tony's here to supply the questions for this week. At the moment, it's Russell Osman 5, Terry Butcher 6. Okay. Feel free, Wayne, to help or hinder these two over this one. So, Tony, what have you got for us this week?
Okay, so I think it's
Russell to
Russell's
go
turn.
first, yeah.
Yep, to choose. Home or away?
I'll go away.
He's going away. Okay.
I think you'll know the answer, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay, so the away question is, who won the Rugby Union Premiership 24-25?
So just repeat that again, Tony.
Who won the Rugby Union Premiership 2024-25?
I think Russell's actually written something. You've written something down already, haven't you?
He's a bit of a rugby player,
Oh,
wasn't
okay. Yeah, because you have had a good go at rugby. Any ideas, Wayne, to help him out or not?
I daren't say it because I might be wrong, but
The answer's no. You haven't got anything to say.
okay, it's a no. It's a no for me.
Okay. Come on, I'm going to push you for an answer, Russell.
Okay.
Okay, grab your microphone so we can hear you. Full of confidence.
Leicester.
It was the other one.
Northampton.
Bath.
Oh. So no points.
Hit
So
the
That was a
post.
cold bath.
I
Wasn't
wouldn't
Yeah,
have
it
been no
was.
help at all there. I got that totally wrong.
you wouldn't
Who
have got it,
beat
Wayne.
Leicester
No.
in the final?
No, okay. So Terry, that means it's a home for you then.
I'll go home.
Yes.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. You go home, Terry.
Okay, so the home question.
Go home before he
is,
answers your question.
Who was the player of the year in 1984? And the choice from the multiple questions are, was it Alan Brazil, Trevor Putney or Paul Mariner?
1984 Player of the Year. What were the players again?
Brazil, Putney or Mariner?
Brazil, Putney or Mariner? You got any ideas, Russ?
You can help or hinder, Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an idea. Yeah.
I know who was 84, 85. That was me.
Well, you're not on that 3 list. So.
But it's 83, 84.
Yeah. 84.
But I'm not on the list. Yeah, you're right. So it can't be me.
1984, yeah.
Yeah.
2 won it before you then.
I have no idea.
One of them 3.
Yeah, 1 and 3.
Yeah. Come on, the last bus. is
Today.
What's what was the first one?
gone. Brazil.
Alan Brazil.
I'll go Alan Brazil.
No, Trevor Putney.
Trevor Putney.
Trevor Putney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who voted for him?
Trevor Putney.
The only thing he could do was catch an empty glass on his foot and fill it up with beer
Flick it up.
and then
Yeah.
flip it up and
Yeah.
drink. That's what he got. Man of the
All right.
season.
Well, there we go. There we
Still
go.
5 Russell, 6 Terry.
Good one.
Your time now, Wayne. It's time for the Life's a Pitch and Putt, sponsored by Seckford Golf Club. So, going for a right-handed club. So you've got 6 balls, Wayne. There's a cross there which Tony will put the ball onto. We've got our target area there. In the lead at the moment is your old mucker Mark Venus, along with David Sheepshanks, John Walk and Russell Osman. Tommy Smith with a right-handed club, although he's left-handed. He got 50. Top spot at the moment, 75. Milt's 20. Me, Jason Dazelle, Terry Butcher, 0. So where do you think you're going to finish on there then?
Mark, why am I bottom of the list? Because
Nothing to beat.
alphabetically, I'm a B. It should be...
Because you're the
There should
strongest
be
one,
you
Terry.
at
You're
the bottom.
holding the rest of us
It
up.
should be you at the bottom.
All right, I'll change it next week then.
Well, I'd like to beat Smudger because I'm good pals with Smudger, so I need to try and beat him if I can.
Okay, all right. Well, you've got 6 balls to see how you get on. Don't forget capacity crowd. You can shout, get in the hole and cheer him along. High score one end, low score the other, but the low score ones have got bigger holes to get into. So here he is.
I'll build the
Ball
first
number 1.
Here we go. Oh, he's hit the post.
Good roll.
Yep. Good pace,
Obviously
you
the
think,
greens
Russell?
aren't that
pace,
good,
wasn't
but,
it?
Good pace.
Bit
Good
quick.
pace. Good roll.
It's a 40. 40.
40.
It's Ryder Cup week. Ryder
Yep.
Cup week. Come on, the
In the
Europeans.
hole. Here we go. Oh, the post has hit.
Pressure's on now, Wayne.
Still got 40 points, Mark. More than you. Here it goes again. Here we go again. Oh!
Looks like Tommy
2 more to
Smith's
go.
position is safe.
Tommy's safe, I think.
Tommy's safe.
One more.
Go for the
And
10.
it's past Tommy.
Oh, he's not going to get there.
Oh!
It's the top of the table.
It's a 50. Total of 90.
90 points.
90
One more to
points.
go.
Second place.
I go home, Wayne. You don't need any more.
Oh! 120. 120.
100, yeah, top of the
Well
leaderboard.
What was your secret, Wayne? What was the secret there?
Well, I think I found my greens.
I think you found a new career, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, I try and play a bit of golf if I can, a couple of times a week, so
It's all
Yeah.
easy then, wasn't
I
it?
enjoy it.
Yeah, top of the leaderboard. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thanks very
Fantastic
much.
stuff. Right, it's time now for On This Day in History.
Right, on this day in history, what's the date today? 25th of September, is it? 24th, is it? Just testing. Right, Ipswich drew Coventry City 1-1 in their first ever league match under floodlights, believe it or not. Sheffield-born Doug Millward's goal earned Town their first away point in their Division 3 South winning season. Right, Saturday the 24th of September this year is 1994. Despite goals from Eric Cantona and Paul Scholes, Town overcame Manchester United 3-2 at Portman Road thanks to a brace from Liverpool-born midfielder Paul Mason and a Steve Sedgley strike.
Get in there.
And that is all that has happened on the 24th of September. Just from tomorrow's date, the 25th, Ipswich crushed Floriana 10-0 at Portman Road. Anybody know the year? 1962.
Unlucky crowd.
Yeah. Town's biggest European victory saw Ray Crawford become the first Town player to score 5 goals in a match. But that was on Tuesday, the 25th of September, 1962.
Wayne, did you play against Avenir Beggan?
I did. I actually scored against Avenir Beggan.
That was 8-1,
That was 8. Yeah, I think it was 8-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the return leg was actually.
What day was that? I'll see if I can find it.
Oh, God knows.
It could be here sometime. They were from Luxembourg, weren't they?
They were, yeah, they were. It was, again, very, very lucky and fortunate to have played not just for Ipswich but in Europe. So, again, it was a real special time for me playing away and experiencing the away crowds as these fellas have on many occasions. Ruthless.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players now that haven't actually sampled European football And it's great, isn't it? It really it just opens your eyes, and when you're going away and all that sort of thing, obviously with the travel, but when you're playing a team with, different ideas, different players you never met before and all that sort of thing, it's a real test.
Great for the supporters as well.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
watch like a midweek match, but a European midweek match under the floodlights.
And
Brilliant.
I'm not being disrespectful, but in your day, it was a little more difficult to get into Europe. Now you can just get a cheap Ryanair flight from Stansted. But those who travelled in those days to support you really made an effort to go, and they went in big numbers, didn't
Yeah, we used to take a lot on the plane with us, and it was great because it was always a nice party on the way back. So
Always a nice party.
always a nice party on the way
And a
back.
party on the bus going back as
Does
well.
Mark Ashton not take fans on the team plane now when they go away?
Well, I don't think they have a party either.
Oh, right. Okay.
No.
Right.
Not that I know of.
Haven't
but,
won very much lately, so it's not a surprise, is it really? Harsh but fair. Come on, harsh but fair. It's a journalist talking. Right, it's time for this week's Man v Fat results. Another night of football and weight loss on Friday evening saw a group loss of £11, bringing the season's total to over 11 stone for our 80 current players. Good to see a few of our town fans scoring weight hat-tricks. So well done, David Flewitt, Kieran Whiffen and Connor Ozier, amongst others. This week's results. Olympiacos 9, Ipswich Town 5. The Blubber Blues 5, the Pink Panthers 8, Leighton Oreos 10, Watford FC 9, RB Liposuction 6, Portugal Fatsuma 4. Those are the results of this week's Man v Fat Leagues. Best wishes to Town on Saturday, says Man v Fat Mark. Wayne, it's been great to have you on the show. Really good to have you on the show. Well done for being top of the leaderboard for the golf. So you'll be
thank you
straight on
very
the phone
much.
to Tommy Smith, will you?
I will be straight away. Thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute honour to share this sofa with these two guys.
Prediction for Saturday?
It's got to be 3 points. I want it to be 3 points, and as Ross has already alluded to, let's get the 3 points against Portsmouth.
The score?
I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1. Ross?
2-0.
Oh, you...
Another clean sheet.
Okay, no, I was going to say 2-0. 3-0. You're going to go 3-1.
3-1.
3-1. I have to say, it's great having him on because he was like us. He was just honest, hard-working, hard to beat, and a winner. Just wanted to win. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. That's what we could do with a lot more.
Yeah,
Oh, well
brilliant
said,
stuff.
dear boy.
Good stuff. Well, we'll be back next week, and our special guest next week is Fabio Wardley on the show next week. So, Butch, you might want to not ask him to meet you in the car park.
I don't think so, no.
No.
I don't think so.
So Fabio Wardley with us next week. Good luck to Town on Saturday. For now, Blue Army, everybody! Blue Army! 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 This has been a Life's a Pitch TV production. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, all about hearing. Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, GBS Builders, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year, Cancer Support Suffolk, Forget Me Not Golf, and Combat to Coffee.